There have been so many intelligent critiques offered tonight by citizens, and I know I've swapped emails with lots of people sitting in the room here, and so I'm going to spare you the work of listening to what I think about this project, because I think a lot of you know, and I want to address instead the way I'm feeling this evening. I feel a deep ambivalence. We are on the precipice of great change in Blacksburg, and I feel that with a certainty, having lived the experience twice before in Athens, Georgia, and Seattle, Washington. I feel the thrill of new possibilities, but the weight of dread as well. I'm sad for longtime residents who've written to me and stopped me in the grocery store and who've taken the time to call with reservations about the proposal. I'm sad with them. In truth, our town is not the intimate, stable, small community that it was in years gone by. I well remember the great, good characters who extended the right hand of fellowship to me and my husband when we came to this place over 30 years ago. Bob and Emily Stewart, the Reverend Al Payne, John and Jean Cairns, Isabel Burney, Weba Crunchy were among them. Some have passed, but all have left their mark. Because of them and untold others, Blacksburg remains a wonderful home. It is not what it was, but it is also not what it shall become. It's still the community to which I am devoted. Though our population grows and our surroundings change, our social and religious institutions are resilient, and we benefit from a robust civic culture that includes the people in this room tonight. As I think on the people who've meant so much to me, I naturally think of my family. My husband, Eric, he's head of the statistics department at Virginia Tech. And I think on my son, a statistician, and my other son, who's a statistician, and my daughter, who's in statistics.
What have you asked?
Together, they are exponentially cleverer than I am. And I've learned a good deal from them. For example, when you're looking for insight, pull back and squint a little bit. Step away from the small details and look for patterns. Spot the trends. So here's the view from where I sit. Earlier today, I put my son and his family on the plane at the airport. He'd come to town for a wedding. Young man that he met when he was a 2-year-old, and Maria Rossi's energy outlet for twos, was getting married. So I put him on the airplane at the airport, now called the Roanoke Blacksburg Airport, because the name of Blacksburg has cachet, and Roanoke wants to benefit from that. Okay, that's data point 1. Later in the day, I spoke with my daughter, who's in California. She's coming all the way back to Blacksburg to experience fall in her hometown, just for a weekend, just to be here in fall. And we know how intoxicating that is. She's talking about hiking. We're making some plans for the weekend. And I had to explain to her that the Cascades might not any longer be a good place to go for a short hike, because now you got to get there on a shuttle. Okay? 2 weeks ago, Council received notice that American Campus Communities out of Austin, Texas, is proposing to build 665 bedrooms and a parking deck between Warren and Green Streets. This would be purpose-built student housing, but the clincher is a gated emergency bridge over the Huckleberry is also proposed. The week before that, we learned that the owners of the Holiday Inn plan to build 2 6-story hotels on site, as well as a drive-through pharmacy and a fast food restaurant. This is a project that can be built by right. Council will not have the opportunity to review it. Last fall, a Richmond PR firm was paid by members of our own rental apartment council to defeat a proposed student housing project. That's not illegal. It's not illegal. But it was the first time in my memory that hired guns were brought in to affect the outcome of a development proposal. The citizens group that was formed then has now come out against any construction of student housing anywhere in our town. And mind you, students outnumber us 2 to 1. But this is a group who wants to see no student housing. this as 248 apartments are being built just outside our gates on Merrimack Road. I think it might suit some people perfectly fine as long as the student housing isn't put in our town. But keep in mind that the traffic problems, the parking problems, and the public safety problems will still fall on us. Simply, we will have none of the tax revenue. So this is the pattern I'm seeing. I'm seeing development in this town that has become a game of whack-a-mole. At the Planning Commission level, the proposal that we have on the table before us right now was termed near perfect. And while we're struggling to impose complete perfection on it, 3 others pop up. I really fear that we will lose the battle against unsustainable development. Blacksburg grew nearly 8% in the last 10-year census. Montgomery County grew nearly 13%, but Christiansburg grew an astonishing 24%. And that's not because people are not flocking to Christiansburg because of jobs and services. It's the consequence of Blacksburg making every top 10 list in the country, and of expanding enrollment at the university, and 2 new medical schools, and growth at the Corporate Research Center. Blacksburg is growing, and I can feel ambivalent about that, even as I am obliged to prepare for it. Inasmuch as the Eheart proposal offers higher density in the center of town, ADA accessibility, green building techniques, adjacency to transportation networks, and provides an anchor to downtown businesses, I feel that it meets or exceeds most of the goals outlined in our comp plan. I am fundamentally very concerned, however, that our effectiveness in guiding future development is in danger. And it's a topic I hope to introduce during work sessions and council meetings in the future.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out, and for my esteemed colleagues for their knowledge and erudition on this difficult topic. I have switched my mind back and forth since this project has come up. I have switched it over the weekend, I've switched it yesterday, and I've switched it tonight as I listened to both the comments from the crowd and from wise words of my colleagues on council. This is difficult. I think no one can outdo Leslie for telling us why it is a difficult decision and then stepping back and looking at some of the issues that are before us. We are in the midst, as I feel, and I think other folks know this, of a huge housing boom in this town, and the town changing because of that, because of, as Leslie mentioned, people wanting to be here and all the opportunities that are here. I'm very cognizant of the concerns of our established neighborhood residents. I am one of those. I live in an R